In this video, I was going to start a new series called Reviews with Randy. I would show you guys the new books that I've been picking up, give you a review of them, tell you what I recommend, what I don't recommend. Also, show you guys cool wall books that I've picked up, tell you what I was going to do with those, am I going to grade them or not. But along the way, my last trip to my local comic shop, I got called out and my channel got called out by the store owner and some of the employees that work there. So I felt like I couldn't wait and I wanted to tell you guys that story. So I'm going to give you the reviews and I'm going to give you the tea. So stick around for that story and that drama on Swarm of Comics. Hello and welcome to Swarm of Comics. I'm Randy, your handsome and humble host, and I come to you once again from the Bat Cave with something new and hopefully fun. Reviews with Randy. That title is subject to change. Maybe that's just temporary. I haven't thought of something else cleverer than that. But the gist of it is what I already said in the intro. I'm going to show you some books that I've been reading. I'm going to tell you what I think about them. Tell you what I recommend, what I don't recommend. Maybe it's a book that I just picked up. Maybe it's a series I've been reading for a million years. So let's have some fun with that. And at the end, I'm going to spill the tea on the drama with my local comic shop. It's kind of a funny story. I don't want it to be too like, oh no, it's a bad story. It's actually pretty funny. So let's dive into the comics and get to that. I actually went to two comic shops this week. I stopped at my old stomping grounds at New England Comics down in Quincy, Massachusetts, which is my first comic shop that I ever went to. It was actually called New England Collectibles back then. That's how long ago it was. I like to stop in there. They have a pretty good variety of back issues, things that I might have missed at my shop and they don't have any back stock of. Also, they have a really good variants because they order so many books, they get all the ratio variants. So whenever I'm cruising through down past Boston, past Quincy, I always stop in there. So first big book I picked up there, and I'm going to look like the biggest loser hypocrite here because it is Venom 250. Yes, I don't like Venom. Yes, this is definitely speculation. Yes, this is a ratio foil variant, and maybe I'll get it slabbed, and then maybe someday I'll be rich. And it'll be ironic because I don't even like Venom, and he's going to make me a millionaire. So I don't know anything about the book, so I don't know if I can recommend it or not. But in case you haven't seen that cover or heard of it, I thought I would show it to you. Next book. I've read this since the beginning. I picked up the first issue when it came out. I got mine graded, but that black cover and black spine is just a killer, and I got a 9.6 on that. But I've been reading this series ever since, and it is Something is Killing the Children. I know you've probably all heard of it. Maybe you haven't picked it up. Go back and get it in trades. It started strong. It sort of got soft for a while, but now what they've done is it's almost a prequel at this point. We're flashing back to the main character and how she got started being one of the monster hunters, and I'm really enjoying this series. So this is issue 44. I love it. It's fantastic. Go read this series. I can't recommend it enough. Maybe you're one of those people that's like, well, everybody loves that book, so I'm not going to read it. There's too much hype around it. Yeah, there's hype around it for a reason. It's a fantastic book. I love the idea of it. Next book I picked up, I don't love, but I like. In the Ultimate Universe, there is Ultimate Wolverine. This is issue 10. I dig it. I think it's cool. I have no interest in the Ultimate X-Men. I tried looking at it and it looks awful. If you guys feel that I'm wrong and I should pick it up, let me know. But I feel like this is giving me my X-Men fix in the Ultimate Universe. But I don't love it. It's maybe one of my least favorite Ultimate books that I'm reading. And I'm not reading them all, but I'm reading a bunch of them. I definitely recommend Ultimate Black Panther. I love Ultimates. And of course, Ultimate Spider-Man is one of the greatest books written in our recent history. And that one's pretty good too, Ultimate Wolverine. This other book, I purchased a bunch of the new books. This one's Rook Exodus. So, Jeff Johns and company has started doing all these different titles like Geiger and Redcoat and Hyde Street. I don't love them, but I do like this story. So if you haven't picked up Rook, make sure you pick it up. I recommend this one highly. This is issue 7. It's not too deep. I know the other stories could be 10, 12, 14 issues deep, but Rook is at 7 issues. I definitely recommend that. I picked up Amazing Spider-Man. I've been a fan since I was a kid. I buy this book because I feel like I have to, because I've always collected Spider-Man. But the truth being, before they restarted this series here, this is issue 13, I hadn't read Amazing Spider-Man in about 9 years. I just have stacks and stacks of them, but I haven't actually read them. I don't know if there's any that are popular. I don't know if there's any that are worth money. I don't know if there's any that are worth reading, but I just got overwhelmed by the stack of books as it got bigger and bigger, and I just abandoned it. So when they started at number 1 again, I think this is volume 7 of number 1s, I said I'm gonna resolve myself to read this. I think I'm 3 issues in, and I think it's okay. I'm hearing that it's better than it was before, and if it was worse before, I'm glad I didn't read it. But so I don't know if I can recommend this just yet. Maybe once I catch up, I could see if I recommend it. But Amazing Spider-Man. The next book is Absolute Evil. This is the one-shot in the Absolute DC Universe. The DC Universe, Absolute Universe, is very similar to the Wanted Universe, or whatever you want to call it, from Mark Millar, Millarverse or whatever, or the Ultimate Universe, where the bad guys are pulling the strings here and they've been preventing superheroes, and now superheroes are appearing. And this is apparently, I haven't read it yet, but I'm hearing great things about it. It's a one-shot. I think it's the villains getting together to sort of formulate a plan. What do they do now that there's superheroes screwing up there running the world? So I'm looking very much forward to reading that. Star Wars. Another book that was similar to Amazing Spider-Man. I've purchased every single issue of the Marvel series for however many years that's been running, and I think I read the first 2, and then I got overwhelmed and I didn't read it anymore. So now that they've restarted it, I've resolved myself to read this series. This is issue 6. They've come across in this storyline some old robots. What are the Roger robots from the prequels? They're stuck on a planet they crashed on, and they don't know the Clone War's over. These guys are dressing up in, Han and Luke and their associate are dressing up in old clone armor they found. I honestly don't love it. I feel like the storyline jumps around too much. There's too many different story threads that they're trying to tie together. I know it's only 6 issues in, but I'm not 100% loving it. I don't think I can recommend it. If you love Star Wars and you really want to read Star Wars, obviously you're probably already reading the book, but if you're on the fence, it's just okay. There's so many other good books out there. I don't know if it's worth doing. The next one is Department of Truth. This is a high recommend. This is issue 0. I'm not sure why there's an issue 0. I don't know whether this is going back in time, but this is also created by the same guy, James Tynion IV, who does Something is Killing the Children. They're in the 30-something issues of this. I highly recommend this. This is a wonderful book. I don't always love the art. It's sometimes a little bit hard to follow. Like if you look at the art in this one, it's definitely got this very Dave McKean, Bill Sienkiewicz style and art, which I do like, but it's a good book. Highly recommend. I also highly recommend and picked up Absolute Superman. This is the 6th printing of issue 1, J. Lee Virgin cover, Absolute Superman. I also picked up a couple of issues of Absolute Superman this week. I was missing issue 7, can't talk, mush mouth. And I also picked up the latest issue, number 12. So I do love this series. Actually, I said I absolutely love it, and I don't. I love this series, but I don't love it. Absolute Batman, brutal, through the roof amazing. Wonder Woman, masterpiece. Superman, pretty good. Pretty good. I like it. I do love it. I like the idea of it. All right, moving on. Also, Batman. I did those blind box openings. I read the first issue of Batman because I actually read my comics. And this is issue 2 coming out. I might have told you before I didn't, or maybe I didn't. I didn't love the first issue. I'm not a big DC guy. I'm trying to give these new series a chance. I know part of it is hype. Part of it is I just want new good stuff to read. I don't 100% love the art, and I don't think it's as dark as I thought. I know that they wanted to go blue and gray and yellow Batman outfit. Let's not go dark. Let's not go edgy. Let's not go black colored. They want to go brighter. I haven't read 2 yet. I didn't love 1. I'll try it for a little while and see what I think. I think it was a lot of hype. I also, Spider-Man Noir, I never got into this. I was familiar with the character from, I think, when they first appeared a long time ago. Maybe that was when Dr. Octopus had the brain, was inside of Peter Parker's brain. And they were time jumping or alternate universe jumping. So I know that they're making a movie with Nick Cage in it. So I thought I'd give this a try. It's written by Eric Larson. I did read this. I thought it was okay. They're trying to do the writing like you're reading something from 1939. They're like, hey, nice games on that, that dame and stuff like that. And it's okay. It's lighthearted and fun. I feel what they've done in this is captured the classic Peter Parker driving his enemies crazy, wisecracking, and just motor mouthing. That was the big hook for me for this book. So I'll stick with it for a little while longer and see where it goes. But I did like it. It was pretty good. Last new book is Huck from Mark Miller. This is the second Huck series. This one is called Big Bad World. I feel this is issue 5. I loved the first series. I feel this is definitely darker and more brutal than the first one, especially this issue. And we're going to see where it goes. But I highly, highly recommend it. If you have not picked up Huck, it is a wonderful, wonderful book with a nice mystery and lore that they're lore, L-O-R-E. Yeah, did I get the word right? That they're building, universe building there with that. So I really enjoyed that. That was fantastic. Okay, out of breath. I tried to rush those. I probably should have just slowed down a little bit, but I feel like I'm out of breath now. Let's take a breath. Take a break. Take a knee, okay, Randy? All right, we're back. While I was at my local comic shop, I had some wonderful books. He doesn't get a lot of cool wall books, and when he does, they're gone instantly. And I'm going to show you the ones that I picked up. I picked up the much sought-after Amazing Spider-Man 128. Yes, would it be wonderful if it was a 129? Yes. But it has no real claim to fame. It's just a Vulture story. Nobody really cares about it. But this issue is in spectacular condition. This is definitely going to come in the 9s. And I got it for a pretty good price. My local comic guy is always pretty good about giving me a discount on things, especially when I buy them in bulk. And I've also been going there for 23 years. So he's always good to me. Well, it kind of ties into the story that's coming later. See, you almost forgot about the story coming later. So I did. I picked this up. Now, of course, as you know, it comes right before 129. I would love this in the 9s, but I don't. But I am lucky and thankful that I do have this. So I'm going to get this graded because I feel like it is in wonderful condition. And I think once my buddy Tom gives it a press, it will be even better. Comic Shop also got in a collection of McFarlane Spider-Man. I'm not going to leave you hanging on that one. Unfortunately, by the time I got there, 300 was gone. But it did have 298 and 299. And they're in good shape, decent shape. Probably in the 9s, but probably not 9/8. I'm considering sending them in to have McFarlane sign them, which is expensive. I bought the books. I had to pay for them. To send them in for the signing, you get them signed, so you get them certified. Their signature series, they get graded. All that's included in one price, and that's like $170 per book. Are these ones worth doing it? Probably. This is how he made his bones. This is it. I know he did Hulk, but this is what made McFarlane. So I'm going to look into it. Worst comes to worst, I'm just going to get them graded, but why not maybe get some McFarlane signatures on there? But you have to think about the math. If these come in at a 9.2 and they're signed by McFarlane, what are they worth? How underwater are you? I don't know. I'm going to have to do a little research. I just picked them up yesterday, so I haven't done that yet. But I would guess one of them is in the high 9s, one of them is in the lower 9s. Maybe they're, if I bought them in plus the 170, I'm in a few $100. maybe they're worth $500 or $600, or they'll go up in time. I love comics and I love collecting, but I do someday want my books to be worth something and to be able to sell them, retire, whatever it happens to be. I'm not shy about talking about that. It can be an investment as well. I can enjoy my hobby, but also be an investment. Somebody picks up a beautiful AC Cobra or a beautiful 67 Corvette. They love driving it, but don't let any of them fool you and think that they're not hoping that's going to be worth buco bucks by the time that they're ready to sell it. So, great. Thank you for joining me for the first issue, episode, whatever we want to call it. I don't know. Episode issue of Reviews with Randy. Official title to be determined. Now I'm going to tell you what happened when I went into the store to buy my books into my comic shop. My comic shop owner knows that I have a channel. He's looked at it before. It ended up in his algorithms, and he said, "Hey, I saw your channel on there. I don't really watch comic channels, but I saw you." And I said, "Cool." And we've talked about it, and he has a couple of people that are his buddies that hang out there and help him and sort of work there. They've watched some of the episodes, and they've given me some good feedback on it, and I like talking about it with them. They also have their own channel, My Comic Shop, and it's kind of a well-known channel. They do multiple videos per week. They do a video that's kind of tongue-in-cheek video about stuff that they love. They also do a review of the new books that have come out that week. So, new book Wednesday. They put the video out Tuesday so you can see what's coming out in case you wanted to pick up those books when you go to the store. You know what's going to be there. They also have their regular videos, which are just them in the store talking to customers, busting each other's stones, whatever it happens to be. I'm in a bunch of those videos. I'll try to remember to put some links down in the description so you can see me looking like a dork at the comic store. So I was in the store, and my comic shop owner says, "Hey, Randy, I've got a bone to pick with you. And my buddy Corey's got a bone to pick with you." He said, "I've been watching your videos, and your channel's been on for a while, and you talk about, oh, I was at Chris's Comics, oh, I was at the Comic-Con, oh, I was at New England Comics, oh, I was at Newbury Comics." And he said, "You never mention my store. You just say my local comic shop." He goes, "Out of 80 videos, you've not said the name of my store, talked about me or anything the entire time." And he was definitely busting my stones and just ribbing me, but there's always a little truth behind something like that. And it caught me off guard, and I had to think, what was my answer going to be? Was I going to, blow smoke up his skirt and, just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't think about it"? But that's not what you do. You gotta tell the truth, and I had to think hard about it for a minute, and say this is going to be a hard answer as to why I haven't. And admit he's right. I've not brought up his store. You've never heard me talk about my comic store besides my local comic shop. I don't think. So my local comic shop is in Haverhill, Massachusetts. It's called Comic Book Palace. The name of the owner is Glenn O'Leary, and his buddy Corey works there, and his dad's always in, and the other guys like Buffy and all the others that are in his videos. Go find his channel, Comic Book Palace. It's a great channel, awesome videos. Like I said, I've been in a bunch of them, and they're funny, and it's a great little store. He's kind of like a one-man show there with his buddies, and does a great business, and I've been going there 23 years. But if the name sounds familiar to you, either Glenn or Comic Book Palace, you might remember last year there was a little bit of a kerfuffle in the Twitterverse and then in the entire comic book universe. I was watching my regular comic videos on YouTube one day, and there was all these videos in my algorithms. Sticky Goose, Snaggletooth, Snagglehouse, whatever his name is, and all these videos, and I could see Comic Book Palace and Glenn in their videos. So of course I started digging in and watching them. There was this, if you don't know, controversy that Glenn said, and was suddenly the pitchforks and torches were out. There was a huge camp of people that were vilifying him, criticizing him, and starting a whole conversation outside of even him, just a bigger conversation about what he had said. And then there was the people who were there to defend him. Speak for him, answer for him, talk about what he had done and why he had said it. And I said, this is crazy and overwhelming. And I watched his actual video. And after I watched his video and heard what he said, I thought to myself, do any of these people who are outraged actually watch the videos? Because I don't know what you watched, but he didn't say what you think he said, and he didn't say what you think he said. I'm gonna paraphrase here. He was not a fan of comic book writers injecting themselves and their own personalities into established comic characters that have been around for 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years and changing them. He doesn't want Donny Cates to turn Captain America into Captain Cates. He wants Captain America to have the same viewpoints and morals and view in history as he's always had. How do we know the Captain America character? And I said to him, I said, I never mentioned you in my videos because I didn't want any of that heat coming to my channel. We're just kind of fun here. We're lighthearted. He got 1 million followers. He gets millions of comments. He absolutely benefited from me. He did an interview with Mark Miller. And there was a lot of hubbub. And ultimately, sometimes, any publicity is good publicity. But I didn't want that publicity. And I purposely have not talked about his video or his stores or him or anything in my videos to purposely avoid that. I don't want the trolls. I don't want the comments. I don't want anything. But I feel like the heat's worn off and I feel that's unfair. I don't know if I should have done that. Was it right or was it wrong? I don't know, but it's what I went with my gut at the time. The second thing I said to him is, honestly, I said, do I really want people knowing what comic shop I go to? And he goes, but you don't even live near here. You don't even live in Haverhill. You don't even live in the same state. But he said, I do get it. He goes, when I put my videos up, if people see my truck outside, I make sure I block my license plate number and things. Nobody needs to know anything about me. And I just didn't want to deal with talking about, the store I went to. You could just, my LCS, that's all you needed to know. But we kind of hugged it out. I told him I was sorry and that I completely understood. And I said I'd make it up to him. I said, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell the story. We've taken some great photos together. I'm going to post those up here, including us with matching shirts. I bought him and Corey, his right-hand man. If you watch his videos, you're going to know Corey. And I even got Corey a shirt too, so hopefully you see that in one of his videos. And that was really the story. I don't know if that was as drama-filled as you expected, or maybe it was more drama than you expected. And maybe it didn't belong here. Maybe it just made this video longer. But I wanted to talk about it as soon as possible. And make sure you're following his channel. Make sure if you're local, you go to that store. Don't listen to the Twitterverse or the internet or the left side or the right side or the top side or the bottom side. Whatever it was. Just go in and support a small business owner. And that's what I should have been doing all along, is supporting my small business owner here. I supported by spending my friggin' money there, so, there's that. But, yeah, that was it. That's the story. So, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts about whether I did the right thing or the wrong thing. What you think. Have you been to the channel before? What do you think about the controversy that he brought up? I didn't want to use his controversy to drive people to my channel, and I feel like it's been long enough that that's not going to be the case. Like I said, any publicity is good publicity, even bad publicity. That's not how I wanted to drive people here. I wanted to build it organically. I wanted to guilt my friends into following my channel. I wanted my mom to watch the channel and tell all of our family to make sure they follow it. I wanted to do things the right way. So that was like the third reason as well. I guess that just popped in my head again. So give me your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're interested in more reviews of the comics that I've been reading. If this bombs and this is a turd and people don't like it, I won't do it. But I figured I'd try something new to add into the mix. So now I'm out of breath. Now I'm losing my voice. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm Randy. This is Swarm of Comics.